Hello everyone, and that was Paul McCartney with Wonderful Christmas Time. And before that, Slade with Merry Christmas Everybody, the best Christmas song, no matter what David says.
No, you're wrong.
You're listening to The Loading Screen on UCC 98.3 FM, and you may notice that Smooth Jazz Amar is notably absent from your radio stations today.
You forgot to tell the time.
Yeah, he says that his watch was an hour behind, and that's why he didn't get the right bus. But we like to think that he just didn't know what time the show was on, even though we've been going since the start of the college year.
Yeah, he just can't tell the time.
I don't think he can. I don't think he ever learned over there in Pakistan. Not because of their education system or anything. It's just Amar.
Amar's just terrible to begin with.
Yeah.
No matter what nation he hails from.
But because it's just the two of us, we'll actually be able to get through some news and stuff like that. You might have noticed last week. At the end of the show, I said, "Oh yeah, I've got half a page of stuff left," because I ended up arguing with the other two.
No, you ended up arguing with me. You had to contradict everything I said.
And I was arguing with Amar as well about Assassin's Creed.
You're very disagreeable.
No, it was funny because I'm sitting there in the booth, and on one side I'm arguing with you about how Assassin's Creed 3 is good, and then I'm looking at Amar in this room telling him that Assassin's Creed 3 is bad. But whatever. So we're going to start off. David's got a bit of a review of Far Cry 3. Then he's got a small bit of PC news. I've got some random news about game release dates, sales figures, all that kind of jazz. And then we'll probably just talk about favourite games of the year and stuff like that. So, you see, look, I laid out the whole plan of the show and everything. Amar never does that.
I know, it's very organised.
This is pleasant. So, David, yeah, you go ahead with Far Cry 3. It's a game that I don't have, but... You see, it was weird because the first trailer I saw, I'm like, oh, that game looks really cool. And then I saw another bit and I'm like, oh, it doesn't look that good. And then it was kind of going like that for a while. And then eventually, like when it was coming up to release, I'm like, okay, it looks really good. And then the reviews started coming out and everyone said it was so good. And now I want to get it, but I can't because I have other games to play.
Yeah, it's still full price too. So, it's kind of a pricey one.
Steam sale, yeah.
Yeah, those are coming up very shortly, actually.
Christmas sales, yeah. They should be happening already. It's already mid-December.
Prepare your wallets.
Yeah.
Prepare your wallets. Well, I'm just going to have a lot of indie games for €1 or €2 and never play them. They're just going to be sitting there just because I like to have them just in case. Moving on from that, though. Far Cry 3, first off the bat anyway, runs great. I found no real FPS issues. There's parts where you unlock these towers and it kind of shows you the map around it. It kind of chugs a small, but that's kind of to be expected, considering you're zooming over these huge landscapes.
Yeah.
It's all bright very well. It looks absolutely lovely.
It looks so good.
No, like Far Cry 2 looks beautiful, whereas Far Cry 2, everything was sprinkled with cocoa powder. It was all dark, it was dreary, it was depressing. It didn't really...
Well, that was kind of the tone of that game.
It was, yes, all right, because you were always in like a forest, but even when you were like outside in like a plains, it was still the same.
No. I had issues where in Far Cry 2, sometimes like at the edge of the maps it's like full desert, and like literally my screen would go white because of like bloom and stuff like that.
They're very guilty of that.
Yeah, Far Cry 2 is such a divisive game. It's like some people think it's great and other people think it's crap.
Yeah,
I'm like in the middle.
Yeah, because I played Far Cry 2 as well, so I'll talk about that in a bit.
Is Far Cry 3, like a lot of people say, like they just fixed the stuff from Far Cry 2?
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I'll get to that in a minute,
okay.
All right, but just while I try and keep my train of thought, yeah, the graphics are great. It looks so much better than Far Cry 2. It still does the thing where in Far Cry 2, where if you notice when you got into a vehicle, grass would always come through the bottom of the cars.
Yeah.
They still haven't fixed that. No,
it's not a big.
I know it's not a huge issue, but I'm just
something
thinking
you notice, though. Yeah.
Yeah, and then another thing too, they've really kept up with the fire graphics.
Oh, nice.
Like the fire graphics in Far Cry 2 were beautiful. In this, like it actually burns things to cinders, so it'll leave like black and dirt, and it'll set fire to trees. It's just
that's cool.
Ooh, the flamethrower! Like it's a terrible practical application. The only times I've used the flamethrower in Far Cry 2 so far is literally just to set fire to things and just watch them burn, because it's that satisfying to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be that bad, like.
Oh no, it's very, very pretty. They've kept the heal mechanic as well, which is
with the like syringes and
stuff. Now whereas in the original Far Cry it was kind of all syringes, and then if you were in an explosion you would pull out some shrapnel. Every injury in Far Cry 3 seems to be solved by relocating your thumb.
That was like they had one like that in Far Cry 2. I think it was with your fingers, and that always got me. I was like,
oh no, it wasn't too bad, because originally if you're maybe down 1 square health, he'll just reposition his thumb. If you lose a lot of health, you don't have any health packs, you can just hold this down and you'll actually put your wrist back into place.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've had a few people watching me play this and they've just flinched a little when actually seeing this because, you know, I can definitely see why you wouldn't like this for the squeamish, but, you know...
I thought the way the health worked in Far Cry 2 was really good.
It's better than just kind of, you know, like just bandaging up your arm at the same time. So it adds a bit of variety to it.
I actually like the way Resistance 1 did this as well, where you have, like, blocks of health and, like, it will regenerate that block.
Yeah, but not beyond that.
Yeah, I that's my favourite system of health.
Even then, the problem with this is, even though I was playing, you know, it was the same with Far Cry 2 and Far Cry 3, you know, you can buy health packs and they'll be pretty much instantaneous. You can go the longer route and heal back all your health. It'll just take a little longer because, you know, you need to pop your socket back into place.
Yeah.
But even on the hardest difficulty, which is what I'm playing this on, and I'll get to that in a moment, you can still do this, which I think is really stupid. It just makes the game far too easy. Because if you get shot, you know, there's no real threat. It's like, oh, I'll just hide for 3 seconds or so and reposition my arm. It's just bleh. It's a little stupid. I don't really like it. I'd prefer if it was either took way longer to actually heal back, or there was some sort of penalty associated with it, but there isn't.
Yeah, because that was a good thing that, like, raised the tension in Far Cry 2, was if you were down to your last square of health and you had to, like, pull a bullet from your arm or whatever, that actually took a while, so you had to, like, hide and make sure you didn't get hit.
Oh yeah, but sometimes it's very randomized because I've literally been digging bullets out of my arm in Far Cry 3 and all I've done is fall down a step. So it's a bit stupid. It's randomized completely. There's no kind of saying, oh, if you were hit by a bullet in the last X amount of seconds, you're going to pull the bullet out. No, then I could be... after being riddled with bullets, and I'll just, like, reposition my thumb. We're all good again.
Yeah. That's kind of nitpicking, though, isn't it?
It is really nitpicking, but it's my thing.
It's still a complaint, yeah.
Okay, now, next thing, kind of another nitpick, because I'm nothing if not petty. In this game, you're basically get this magical tattoo, or tatau, which is the most annoying sounding thing ever. This is a lot like Dishonored, where it's like, okay, I gave you this tattoo, now you have magical powers. Do you want to explain anything more? Nope. That's literally the only explanation. You have a tattoo, you'll be able to harness energy. It's really just a glorified skill point set. The more skill points you add in, the more stuff that gets added onto your tattoo. It's just a little stupid, really. Again, more nitpicking. There's much stronger character focus in this.
Okay.
Whereas Far Cry 2, it was very poor. Like, it was like just this guy wanted this guy dead. That was kind of it.
Like, I remember about halfway through Far Cry 2, some guy, like, found me, and I'm pretty sure he was at the start of the game or something, but it was literally like, who's this?
Oh yeah, you're
like,
nursed back to health by the guy,
and he knows me and
stuff.
And I'm like, okay, I have no idea. Like, I kind of had an idea of what was going on, and then this happened. I'm like, I have literally no idea what's going on now.
Oh, I know. Sure, Far Cry 2, there's 2 games in one. They basically got rid of the main villain halfway through it, and then it's like, hey, here's this new villain. Hate him now just as much.
Yeah.
There's much better characters in this. Like, whereas Far Cry 2, you were basically badass A dumped into random desert area.
Yeah, because you literally could pick between characters in Far Cry 2.
Oh yeah, well, it made no difference.
I know,
that's depended on the tattoo on your arm. It's
and your skin color.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. This one, you're kind of, I don't know what you're doing. You're parachuting or something over this tropical island.
Are you just on a holiday or something?
Yeah, you are. And then all your friends get kidnapped, so you're trying to basically get them back.
Yeah.
And, escape the island, yada, yada, yada. But the way in Far Cry 2 you were thrown into it and you're automatically this badass.
Yeah.
Like in most games, you're a badass right from the off. And this, even when you're skinning something or you shoot someone, he's very kind of hesitant to do it. He doesn't want to. Like, even when you skin someone, like, even though I've been playing into this game for 15 hours, you think you would have gotten used to it by now because I've basically skinned enough animals to probably warrant some sort of PETA intervention.
Yeah.
He still just goes, ugh, disgusting. He's very kind of... It's more of a real character rather than just a guy who's like, I gotta find my friends, murders an entire population, and it's like, yeah, I feel nothing. Whereas this guy's like, oh yeah, this is really difficult for me to do, damn it, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And then you can go the complete opposite direction too, in the case of Prototype, where you were murdering entire streets, and he was just going, I wonder if I should be doing this. It's just, this done it pretty well. Like, the character was a little more relatable, shall I say. Basically, like Far Cry 2 as well, there's all these outposts set up.
Mm-hmm.
In this,
does clearing them out actually do something?
Yeah. Whereas in Far Cry 2, they just respawn.
Yeah, I thought my game was glitching for so long.
Yeah, they just respawn. It's just stupid. But we're in Far Cry 3, when you kill a camp, you actually first of all, you gain experience points, which you use to put in points to actually do other stuff.
Yeah.
You also gain access to like more health and safe houses and things like that.
Cool.
That's another thing I'll get to in a second. But you scout out the area. If you manage to do it undetected, you take out everyone with a silenced rifle. No one sees you. You get like quadruple the experience.
That's good.
They can set off alarms, and when they set off the alarm, it's pretty much that's all she wrote. Because people will just come flooding. There's only like 6 to maybe 10 guards per each, so it's very easy to do. It's hard at the start, but once you upgrade your ammo and things like that, then you're very, very good.
Did they keep gun jams and stuff?
No, they've gotten rid of gun jams.
I kind of liked that.
I like that too in a way, but they've replaced really, because you just bought the best weapon and then you just kept swapping it out.
I know, yeah.
So it was a little pointless. Like,
Yeah.
it made more sense in something like Far Cry. Not Far Cry, sorry. Fallout.
Oh, okay, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because things gradually deteriorated, then you repaired them and things like that. So that
Yeah.
was much better. In this one, it's hard at the beginning when you don't have a lot of ammo because, for instance, I was running around the sniper rifle, only had 5 bullets in it. So, you were kind of down. Now I have like 20 bullets and everything's just a cakewalk. Because,
Alright.
it's just so easy. Once you run out of ammo, then that's kind of your main concern, and you need to use the terrible guns. But even then, I was running around with a Magnum in the first like hour and a half of playing this game, and even a Magnum on the hardest difficulty, one shot to even the torso or the head and they're gone. So it's pretty easy. Like, for the hardest difficulty, this is not hard. That's what I
Okay.
will say. If you want a challenge, don't get this game. It's good. Like, it's good if you're kind of a okay FPS player, then yeah, you'll probably find this good. But this is easy. I can clear out maybe 3 of those camps in the space of like, well, one camp will maybe take just a few minutes just to tag everyone because I go for the maximum bonus because I like playing sneaky. Just in closing, just about Far Cry 2, it fixed everything from Far Cry 2, basically. Fast travel, another huge thing. Main reason I stopped playing Far Cry 2.
Driving around.
Yeah, I hated driving around. For an FPS, you shot no one. It was mostly driving between these.
I didn't mind the driving that much, but it was just that you were guaranteed to bump into a patrol,
Yeah,
and then you couldn't just drive. You had to stop and get out, or else they'd blow up your car because they never stop chasing you.
yeah. They fixed this with fast travel. There's a lot more vehicles around the roads. You can kind of run a lot more too, whereas in Far Cry 2, there was a lot of stuff on the ground.
Stamina and
Yeah, and things like that. This one you can pretty much run very far, and it's really fun running around in this game too. You don't mind it because it's full of animals. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, I can run through that forest, but hey, I might get jumped on by a panther or something,
Yeah.
which is cool. That's one thing I really liked. In closing, it fixed pretty much everything. Well, the main problems anyway I had with Far Cry 2. It's got a much better story than Far Cry 2, much better gameplay.
Did you play multiplayer at all?
I haven't played multiplayer.
Apparently,
no.
multiplayer's mediocre.
Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't judge a game that actually has like a full story
Yeah.
just by its
If
multiplayer.
I get it, I probably won't play multiplayer at all.
Yeah, sure it's the same like most of these things. It's just tacked on. Like BioShock 2 multiplayer was horribly tacked on. It was just dreadful. I did not like that multiplayer at all. Like, it was just there to say, oh yeah, you can have multiplayer. Even this game with co-op would just be too easy. Unless it...
No, actually, apparently the co-op, you can have like 2 to 4 people, but apparently if you only have 2, it's like impossible to do it.
Really?
But they still let you have 2.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Oh, but apparently, like, the levels are built for 3+.
That's interesting.
It's a bit weird.
To have like a full story game like that with 3 people, because I don't know how that would work, because with Dead Island, like, they tried to do a thing where you could kind of jump in at any time.
Oh, no, this is like separate co-op missions.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound so bad. So
No, apparently it's meh.
yeah.
It's pretty much just like the single player for this game is the main.
Yeah, one final nitpick just about this. If you're playing this on PC, you're going to be very aware that this was intended for a console. It's quite a poor console PC port in terms of the inventory screen. It's so designed for actual,
okay.
because you can't like click on a bunch of stuff and sell them all at once. You need to click on it, then you need to press OK, pressing
right.
X
Yeah,
twice
yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
And it's just, you could have just spent an extra 10 minutes coding it in so you wouldn't have to do that. But no, you'd rather just shaft us.
Has it got a lot of graphics options though?
It does have a decent amount of graphics options. Like, I had absolutely no issue running this game. Now, I'm running quite a powerful rig, but there was no chugging. It was quick load times. There was very little loading, actually, because once you kind of got into it, unless you fast traveled, there was no loading.
That's good.
And also, one interesting thing that they did with this as well, I know I said, oh, I'm closing up this about 2 minutes ago, but whatever. There's kind of a dubstep song when you actually, during one of the missions. Now, this is, I'm not sure how I feel about this, because you basically started the action sequence, you needed to burn a load of drug crops. Cool. It's kicked up this really kind of, you know, tempo, I don't even know, musical words, dubstep sequence. You know, it really fit it, but the way I was playing it, I was sneaking past with a sniper rifle, so there was just whoop, 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 and there was me just kind of skulking in the corner, shooting, picking people off one by one. Whereas this definitely intended you to just go running in with like a 200 round gun or something.
Or
just,
flamethrower or something.
Yeah, or just plow everyone down.
Yeah, if you were listening to the guys who were on before us, that was the song they were playing before we came on.
Yeah, it's pretty like it really fits. It really fits the situation. I'm interested to see if games kind of go more in this route, if they start playing songs at particular segments.
Well, yeah, I think if music is tailored specifically towards bits, like it, like Journey, like all the music in that game, like just fits so well with what was going on at the time, and that is why it is nominated for a Grammy, because it just complemented the gameplay so well.
Oh yeah, but in a situation where, you know, this would have worked for something more like, you know, something like Call of Duty, where you're going to be running forward with an automatic weapon.
Yeah.
Whereas in Far Cry 3, you can run around with a bow and a sniper rifle and they'll never even know you're there. That's another thing too I found. It put you in a lot of situations where it was kind of up-close gun battles. I was running, at the time, with a Magnum, all well and good, a sniper rifle and a bow. Two of these weapons are absolutely useless for close quarters. I needed an assault rifle, so I needed to drop down my fully upgraded sniper rifle to pick up this assault rifle from one of the random pirates.
Does the stealth actually work though? Because in Far Cry 2, I remember I wanted to go stealth for a while, so I spent a load of... I'm pretty sure it's actually, like, the ghillie suit is actually like the most expensive item in the game, and I bought that, and I got my dart rifle and stuff, which the dart rifle is ridiculously inaccurate. And I was like, I had that, and I think I had... Oh yeah, I had a silenced pistol as well. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be taking out all these guys from afar. It's going to be really cool. So I just like snipe a guy with the dart rifle, then crouch down in my ghillie suit. They'll never know I'm there. Take out the first guy. Everyone instantly starts running towards me. The stealth in that game was absolutely like laughable.
In this game, it's sort of similar. Like, if you shoot someone and no one else sees them go down, fair enough, they're just going to drop, no one's going to know anything. If you miss that person, if a bullet lands too near them and hits somewhere near them, they're going to be immediately alerted, they're going to start yelling and screaming. So, you know, it puts a lot of emphasis on, you need to take this person out in one shot.
Okay.
But I think it really works with the whole camera thing, because you can actually recon an area before you actually start it. You can tag everyone,
That's
so
cool.
you know where everything is.
That's cool.
So they are trying to improve it. It's not the best. It could obviously be a lot better, but for
a game that isn't mainly stealth.
Yeah, and even then, the actual... Because a lot of things with this is takedowns. You walk up behind someone and you kind of insta-kill them.
Okay.
They do offer you upgrades to do this, so you could do that in theory. You know, you could be running around, and it does tailor a lot more to stealth in Far Cry 2, I will say that.
That's cool. That's cool.
So it's pretty good. So yeah, I would definitely say this game is definitely worth taking a look at anyway.
And yeah, a lot of people have said, like, if you weren't a big fan of Far Cry 2, you should still check this one out.
Oh
it's
yeah,
a vast
completely
improvement.
different. I wouldn't, like, aside from them having the same name, that's about it. That's really all there is to it.
So, good game.
Good game. It was good. Like, if you were going to say, you know, oh, I didn't like Far Cry 2, I hated Far Cry 2 as well. Trust me, this was a lot better. I'm enjoying this a hell of a lot more than I was Far Cry 2 anyway, I'll tell you that for nothing.
Good. So you're going to move on to your news now,
Yeah, my tiny amounts of news, because, wow, PC news this week was just absolutely appalling. Start kicking off anyway, just Hotline Miami. You aware of that game?
Yep.
Yeah, brutally.
Got a couple of Game of the Year nominations. Our gaming editor in the Express, that was his Game of the Year. Yeah. It's actually like getting a lot of recognition.
It looks very hardcore.
I think they recently said it's sold 130,000 copies.
Something like that, but according to them, actually, it's been torrented to a, quote, staggering level.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, you know, because this is definitely a game you can definitely see because you can move this around on a flash drive. People are obviously going to be pirating this back to the moon, but one thing I did really enjoy is the actual creator of the game is urging people to just update the game, the version they're pirating, get the updated, so they'll at least get the updated version. You know, which is really nice because...
Well, yeah, because he's not part of a big publisher, so he can't do anything to stop these people torrenting. So you might as well just say, look, if you're going to steal my game, at least get the best version of it.
But even he was quoted as saying, you know, he knows what it's like to have money. I know most people who torrent who are just like, yeah, I don't want to pay for it. Why would I pay for it when I can just get it for free? But no, it looks good in fairness. I haven't played it myself, but I've seen some gameplay footage and this does look quite brutal. Like,
yeah,
it's
but
very
I think
unforgiving.
it's not like a Mortal Kombat kind of brutal. Apparently, it's brutal and it makes you think about who your character is and stuff like that. Because your character is like the serial killer here and stuff like that.
Oh, not even that. It's just you need to have your timing down perfect. You need to plan out everything to be able to complete a level in this. From what I've seen, because you know they kill you in one shot. You kill them in one shot too, but they kill you in one shot, which is very unusual for an actual game these days to be that damn difficult. Moving on from that too, Steam is actually starting to list Linux system requirements.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that if they actually do bring Steam to Linux, because you know there's an awful bit of a hubbub about Windows 8 now and Valve at the moment, and to be honest I can hardly blame them because Windows 8 is not very good, to put in polite terms. Next thing on from that, from Warhammer News last week, just about the new big strategy game.
Woo!
They're actually talking about a turn-based strategy version of Space Hulk. Space Hulk is actually a Warhammer 40k based board game set in space, and you're basically Terminators versus Tyranids on a spaceship. It looks pretty cool. You're going to be fighting aliens on a spaceship. What's not to like? They're going to have an editor included in this, which is cool, and it's also going to be compatible with iOS.
That's interesting.
You know, it sounds pretty cool. Like, it's very kind of early in production stages at this stage. There's a trailer out, but it's absolutely appalling. It just says, yeah, Space Hulk, you should definitely buy this when it comes out. It's like, do you want to show me any footage or any gameplay or any reviews? Or no, you're just going to say Space Hulk. Show some nicely pre-rendered cinematics. Okay, yeah, that's definitely reason enough for me to go out and get this. I'm still going to get it because I'm a sucker for Warhammer, but... And finally, a bit of sad news. GameSpy shuts down multiplayer support for a number of games. SWAT 4, Neverwinter Nights, Sniper Elite, Star Wars, Battlefront. I'm particularly
Battlefront 1?
I think so.
Wow.
Oh no, but it shut down support for SWAT 4. Now, this game was out in 2005. This is probably...
Battlefront 1 is like... When was that? That's old as well.
Oh yeah, but you know, these are old games and they're basically saying, yeah, no more support for this. SWAT 4 is something I am quite disappointed to see go. Although I didn't play much of the multiplayer, I could definitely see why you would. It was very tactical in a way. It was good. I enjoyed it when I did play it. That was a few years back. But, you know, to be fair, they did keep multiplayer support open for 7 years for that game in particular. And I'm not sure about the other ones because I've had no experience with them. But SWAT 4 is definitely one of my all-time favourite games. So any kind of bit of damage done to it at all, even if it's something I didn't care about, like the multiplayer, it still hurts me a little.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all there is in the world of PC news, as I said before.
I think I might have a small bit of PC news, but I mean, I'm just going to show you. I mean, look at the scrawling there. Look at that. That's completely illegible because I woke up 5 minutes before I had to leave for my bus today, so I had to take all this down post haste. And I have no idea what's on here because I wrote it down when I was still asleep, pretty much. So I'm just going to go down.
You should have this your breakfast or something written down.
No, I see
cornflakes.
No, I see Dark Souls too. I don't usually eat souls for breakfast. Not usually. Yeah, well, it's coming up to Christmas. I might treat myself. Anyway, I'll just go down the page. Some of this might be disjointed. So Dark Souls 2 was announced at the VGAs. Did you see that?
Nope. Never played Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, this is coming to PC as well, by the way.
Ooh, fancy.
But you see, the weird thing is, it's coming to PS3 and Xbox 360.
That is a little odd.
Yeah, it's weird. So I don't know when this game's coming out. But there's a petition going around to get it on Wii U. And I think, this is going to be... I think this is like the first step. Like, this is going to be very indicative of the Wii U's life cycle, I think. It's going to be... Games are coming out for the PlayStation and the Xbox, and then people are going to be like, "Can you get it on the Wii U, please?" And it won't come out until like a year after, if at all.
Why? Just stick to playing bowling or Cooking Mama or whatever it is you simpletons do.
You know, the Marios and the Zeldas and your Space Invaders.
I know I rip on the Wii a lot, but I just think it's appalling. The technology is not there for that yet. It's not. It's just, it takes your movements as vague suggestions rather than actual commands.
The PlayStation Move actually did work like 1-to-1 motion.
Oh,
but
okay.
no one made games for it, so doesn't matter. There was a couple of good, like I have a couple of games for my Move and they're fun. But yeah.
They're party games.
No, there was one game. It was like a third-person game where you were like a sorcerer's apprentice and you had a wand and stuff and you were casting spells. And I actually had a lot of fun with it.
Did you put on your robe and wizard hat?
I had my dressing gown on, yeah.
It's nothing without the hat, though. You need the hat.
I don't have a wizard's hat. Yeah, but there was no games for the Move. But anyway, yeah, petition for Dark Souls 2 for the Wii U. That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't
if
think.
Rockstar don't listen to the PC base,
Yeah.
they're not going to listen to the Wii U base.
Yeah, the Wii U base of like 1 million. Oh yeah, so this is something that I was kind of banking on Amar to talk about. Because at
Was
the
it Mass Effect 3 again?
No, it's not. It's to do with Metal Gear.
Oh, okay.
But maybe Metal Gear. You didn't watch the VGA, so you don't know about this. There was a trailer for a game called The Phantom Pain.
Okay.
But loads of people are saying that it's just a trailer for a new Metal Gear game.
Mm-hmm.
Because of a load of stuff that I don't know about because I've never played a Metal Gear game. So I hope Amar's listening to this and he's like shouting at his radio going, "No, it's because of this and this and this." And I'm just going like,
I would say shouting at his computer, but I think you can call what Amar has as a computer is a very liberal interpretation of a computer. It runs on electricity. That's about where the similarities
But anyway,
end between a modern
basically,
computer.
there might be... this is a possible trailer for a new Metal Gear game. I would say probable because people seem fairly certain that this is a trailer
Is
for
this
Metal
going to be
Gear.
following up on the old, like, insanely complex, convoluted story, or is this going to be a new kind of standalone one?
No one knows. Some people are saying it's Metal Gear 5. Some people are saying it's Metal Gear Ground Zeroes, which is already announced. What we do know is if it's a trailer for Metal Gear, it's not Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, which is the one that's coming out next year. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. There's a lot going on with that game. News that is exciting for me and Amar as well, but he's not here. The Last of Us got a release date of the 7th of May. So
What's that?
The Last of Us, it's Naughty Dog's new game.
All right.
And of course, Naughty Dog, one of the best devs out there at the minute.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, it's about post-apocalyptic America, and there's like these...
Wow, so original.
I know,
a
yeah, I know.
post-apocalyptic setting? Whoever would have thought of that?
I know, yeah. I was kind of skeptical at first because I was like, oh, zombies, whatever. But it's not like real. It's like people who got infected by this fungus.
So
basically,
zombies.
there's basically fungus zombies, yeah.
Zombies.
But they said you're going to be fighting other people more than zombies, which is way better because the whole point of post-apocalyptic is like seeing how people deal with other people. That's the most interesting thing.
I know, but that's, in a way, it could go either way because that's what you did in Dead Island. You were fighting zombies and then you were fighting people. And zombies, it's quite original, they're kind of bursting out and you kind of know what you're dealing with. When you're dealing with people are going to be using guns and gun games are all the same.
No, I've seen, they showed a bit of gameplay of this and you have like at the bit they were showing, like it was a gameplay demo and you had like 4 bullets kind of thing.
They kind of built the same thing up with I Am Alive though.
Yeah, but this is actually going to work well.
How do you know?
Because it's Naughty Dog. No, but like at least this game will be functional. I Am Alive wasn't functional.
I suppose it was mainly just a exploring game with occasional interactions.
It was a fog simulator. Anyway, new news. Do you know of PopCap games?
Yes.
Plants vs. Zombies, Peggle, all that kind of stuff.
I'm trying to remember the Star Wars quote about scum and villainy, but I can't quite nail it down.
Okay.
But continue.
Apparently, they are hiring for a AAA game which is going to be using Frostbite 2. Which is very surprising because, I mean...
But PopCap, you're not allowed to make AAA titles.
They are owned by EA now, you say.
Oh, yeah, but like they're supposed to be making Peggle with more
and
graphics
they're supposed to be
upgrades.
making... why was I saying Far Cry 2? Plants vs. Zombies 2. Plants vs.
Tower
Zombies.
Defense.
Have you ever played Plants vs.
I've
Zombies?
played a tower defense game. I've played them all.
Plants
They're
vs.
the
Zombies.
same thing. You
Plants
line up
vs.
towers.
Zombies.
Those are not games, okay? Those are something you play in a browser when your computer doesn't work. Actual games. Wink, Amar, wink.
Plants vs. Zombies is great. Mega Man news, but not quite. For those of you who don't know, this year is Mega Man's 25th anniversary. So people were kind of expecting Capcom to come out with some huge announcements because nothing has happened with Mega Man for 2 or 3 years. And they didn't quite do that.
They instead
So-
announced another terrible Resident Evil game.
Not
That's
yet,
what they
not
like
yet.
to do.
Not yet.
They love doing that, though. Let's
I know,
be honest.
I know that's the new thing. No, they've announced Street Fighter Cross Mega Man. So basically, it's an 8-bit Mega Man game, but instead of the Robot Masters at the end of each stage, it's a character from Street Fighter, which is kind of cool. And it's going to be free, and it's going to be on PC.
That literally sounds like I Want to Be the Boshi. That game. Like it's an 8-bit game like that. It just sounds kind
Okay,
of
well,
like
this is basically Mega Man, but with Street Fighter characters as the bosses, 8-bit and stuff like that. It's going to be free on
sounds gimmicky.
PC. Coming out next week.
Did I hear free on PC?
Free on PC next week.
Okay. I'm
You're gonna play it?
instantly behind this.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're gonna play. I'm gonna play it. But you see, this isn't even like Capcom didn't even do this. It was some guy who just started making it, and then he was at some con and he found some guy from Capcom. He's like, "Hey, look, I have this game that I'm making. Do you think it looks cool?" And he was like, "Yeah, that looks cool. We're gonna help you make it."
Oh.
So they didn't even have anything prepared to do with Mega Man. But apparently they do have some announcements for next week. People are hoping for actual Mega Man games. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be free next week. Download it. Here's something interesting. So all this year we've been hearing rumors of the Valve box or the Steam box or whatever you want to call
yes.
it. I think that's been confirmed now.
Really?
Yes. No one
Interesting.
knows like what it is, but Valve, they're working on something to.
Our grandchildren might get to see it. It is Valve
they're
after
working
all.
on something to hook up to your TV to play games.
You mean a USB connection or a SCART connection?
No, as in an actual piece of hardware
Ooh, fancy.
that will connect to your TV. Like it's basically a console, but I don't think it is going to be a console.
It's just going to be something that you can spend money on the Valve
Yeah.
store.
Yeah, it's interesting. Look out for that.
Oh, I'll buy it anyway.
Yeah. Here's something that's funny. So you know the way Sony don't like money.
Yeah.
So this is why. This is another thing. Starting in January, they're going to stop production of their portable cassette players.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
That's a bit odd. Speaking of people hating money, you know how THQ were in the toilet financially?
Yes.
They were giving out Metro 23 earlier in the week.
Yeah, I saw that.
That is just, what the hell are you doing?
And it's
You
even-
first do a humble bundle,
Yeah,
then you
I
say,
know.
all right, you could just have the game
Yeah, I know.
for free.
That's what's even weirder. It's like they had a humble bundle going where you get Metro 2033 in it, and it's like, oh no, if you go to the website, you just get it for free.
To be fair, it's kind of smart because they really want to pump people up for Last Light.
Last
'cause
Light, yeah.
Last Light is their kind of Hail Mary. Unless
That's
that
what,
sells well, then they're gone, essentially.
That's what Sony did with when the network got hacked. And when PSN was down for a month.
Oh yeah, I
And then-
remember that
and-
well.
yeah.
The crying was heard throughout the internet.
But then when it came back and they gave people a load of free games, they gave them like games that had sequels and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, you get Little Big Planet 1 for free. Hey, Little Big Planet 2 is out. You might want to buy that, which is really smart. I'm just going to bend down to pick up my pen. Entertain the audience, David.
Okay, Johnny is bending down to get the pen. Oh, he's back! Wow, that was an absolute roller coaster of it. That was actually better than the plot to Duke Nukem Forever. See, I knew I'd bring it back in at some point.
Yeah. Other stuff to do with Sony. Well, I just can't believe they were still making portable cassette players up until this year.
I didn't even know. I thought cassette.
No, as in
players,
like a Sony Walkman that plays tapes.
I thought you were talking about CDs, and I was like, oh, okay,
No,
that's a little odd.
No,
but
no. As in audio.
You mean
cassettes.
things that have been outdated for at least since we
Since
were
CDs
born?
came out, yes. CDs came out in the mid '80s. I'm talking about like that you put your pencil in and you rewind it. That kind of like with actual tape. Yeah, they were.
Sony, what are you
They're
doing?
still making them. They won't stop until next month. So yeah, if we were concerned about why they were losing money, we know why now.
They were probably still developing for them the whole time too.
Yeah.
It's like this €300 cassette player.
Other stuff to do with Sony, you can now buy stuff on the PlayStation Store on a PC, which is kind of convenient for people. I don't know what website you have to go to.
I don't know
Some
either.
website, yeah.
Just
This
Google
will
Sony.
interest you. So something appeared on Amazon,
Mhm.
which apparently will be coming out in January. A Hitman HD trilogy.
That sounds interesting.
It's got Hitman 2, Hitman Contracts, and Hitman
Blood Money.
Blood Money, yeah.
That does sound interesting.
I don't even think it got taken down. I think it's still up on Amazon. But Square Enix is still like, oh, we don't comment on rumor and speculation. It's like, I can literally buy this right now.
Yeah, that's a little stupid. It's like, I'm just buying a rumor, nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that'd be pretty cool. But even then, You know, Blood Money does still stand up to current generation.
Yeah, isn't that actually on Xbox 360? Like, isn't that an actual HD game already?
I'm not sure about Blood Money was out during the PS2 era, so I doubt it is.
Okay.
But definitely the other two games and the other ones definitely do need an upgrade at this point, just so that they look a little better. Because you know what people are like these days. Like, I'll even admit, when I tried playing Sniper Elite before I played Sniper Elite V2, I was like, yeah, I can't play this game. The graphics are just too bad. But even it depends really. Like in Hitman, you don't really need them as much. Whereas something like SWAT 4 that was out in 2005, that still looks great. So it really depends on the effort they put in, but. You know, Hitman is very much sprawly levels and things like that, whereas Hitman's very sprawly, and then SWAT's kind of compressed and yada yada yada. But continue on anyway.
Here's something that kind of annoys me. Assassin's Creed 3 sold 7 million copies in 1 month.
That's not too bad.
That is quite good.
Except they're not going to get away with releasing a game of that caliber again.
Yeah, they definitely won't, because I don't think that's got like nominations for anyone's game of the year.
No one's happy about it. No one's going to say, "Oh yeah, that's the best Assassin's Creed ever."
It's getting more hate than it deserves, but it's also getting more praise than it deserves. So people need to be moderate with this game. For fans of God of War, and if you have PlayStation Plus, the beta for God of War Ascension multiplayer will be coming to PlayStation Plus in January.
We should literally just call this the PlayStation Plus show.
It's so good. PlayStation Plus, best thing in the world.
I know, Valve.
I got a free game on my Vita yesterday, and it's really
I bought
good.
a AAA title for €1 on Valve. Okay, €1.
What game?
Huh?
What game?
Metro.
Oh, okay. I thought the lowest they went was $250.
It might have been $250. I'm not sure.
Because I got Mass Effect 1 for $250.
Yeah.
And that was like a year ago.
Either way, $250, considering that's like it's either 4 sausage rolls or like 14 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
I think there's a good choice to be had here. It's sausage rolls.
Yeah. And my last bit of news, which is actually a rumor, Diablo 3 might be coming to consoles next year.
As someone who played Diablo 3, I really don't see how that would work. It just the key system, it would just be so awkward to use. Like, they could do it.
I'm not saying it would be good. I'm just saying that's what people are talking
I'm
about.
interested because if there's Blizzard don't generally affiliate with the dirty console gaming peasants.
Yeah, they don't. I don't appreciate that you're calling me a filthy console gaming peasant.
But you are.
I have been playing my PlayStation a lot more than my PC recently.
Even though always play your PlayStation.
Even though there was a good few months where I was pretty much playing on PC. But
right. I'm glad to see you.
I need to get around to playing PlanetSide 2, because apparently PlanetSide 2 is so good.
Okay, before we continue and this evolves into PC's better than PS3, blah, blah, blah. Let's play a song.
Yeah, we'll have to play a song, and then we'll be very quick talking about our favorite games.
This is the best Christmas song. Ignore Johnny's lies earlier. This is the best Christmas song.
Okay, just need to make sure your iPod's working. Oh, you see, we were going to play this song at the end of the show last week, but there was a problem with David's iPod. That's why you heard it.
No. There wasn't a problem. There was just a problem with Amar. Okay?
Oh, was it actually not frozen?
Huh? No, it was fine.
Oh, okay.
I played it immediately afterwards.
Okay, well, that's why you heard Adele last week. But now we'll actually play the song, and we'll be back in 3.5 minutes.
Brace yourselves.
Okay, see you in a few minutes. And that was The Darkness with Don't Let the Bells End. Not the best Christmas song ever.
The best Christmas. Me and you are going to throw down immediately after this. I hope you realize that.
we
That's
are going to throw down. If we throw down, you're not going to make your bus.
Oh, it's own. It's own. It's own.
Anyway, David, do you want to go through some of your favorite games this year, or some of the worst games? Whatever.
Okay, well, first of all, not so much worse by far, but what was the biggest letdown for me was definitely Diablo 3.
Okay.
Diablo 3 was a bit of a letdown because before this game got anyway difficult, you needed to play through it on ridiculously simple difficulties, because you needed to play through it on normal first, which is just simple. It was good, and I can see why people would enjoy it. It just really wasn't for me. Moving on from that, Sniper Elite V2.
Was that even out this year?
I think it was. I played it this year. I'm counting it. And I'm so annoyed at it, I want to mention it anyway. This game was 5 hours long. 5 hours. That is just appalling. If you pay full price for this, maybe $50, how annoyed would you be? For 5 hours of gameplay, that's like €10 an hour. That's just, that is just absolutely insane. The top 4 of this year, because I'm really awkward. Coming in at number 4, Global Offensive. The new Counter-Strike.
Yeah. Okay.
This was great. It definitely made the game a lot more accessible to new players, because people who had been playing CS Source for years and years were basically trouncing on new players. Global Offensive, it brought in new game modes. It brought in kind of some, changes to maps. It basically changed it around so you can actually play with shotguns, you can play with SMGs, whereas before, okay, you're CT, you get to use the carbine. Oh, you're terrorist, you get to use the Kalashnikov. Oh no, you want to play it with a shotgun.
Okay, wrap it up.
Okay, on from that too. Binding of Isaac, Rat of the Lamb. This is an indie
apparently
game.
It's really good.
Cost me $250 in total. I have played this game for, according to my Steam account, 14 hours. There is so much value for money. This is a fantastic game. It's a port from a Flash game. It's just incredible. Number 2, Dishonored. Love Dishonored this year. It brought a lot of new things to the table. It was a completely separate environment, like steampunk Victorian era game. Like, awesome. It was really good. I'm looking I'm kind of apprehensive about a sequel. I'm looking forward to it too. If they bring in stealth mechanics, this is going to be absolutely phenomenal. They fixed the stealth in this. Because although it was good, it could have been better.
Okay.
Final top one, no surprises, Hitman. Absolutely loved this game.
Absolutely, because it's called Absolution.
Men have died for less than that pun. Hitman, fantastic. I was really apprehensive on, because Blood Money was such, an amazing game. It was such a landmark game in stealth. I was really worried, okay, this is going to turn into an action game. It did in a way. Although there was definitely aspects of Blood Money that better, this by no means was a letdown. It was good. The score tracking thing kind of urged competition between friends. Yeah, that's right, Kev. I beat your score and everything bar one. I'm going to need to reinstall this game just to beat him because I'm that petty when it comes to games.
Yeah.
So Hitman, loved it. What about yourself, Johnny? What did you hate and what did you love?
Okay, well, I'd say probably my biggest disappointment of the year, because I was saying, like, all year, SSX is my game of the year until Assassin's Creed 3 comes out. I wasn't even like, oh, Assassin's Creed 3 will probably be better. It was like, yes, this is my game of the year until Assassin's Creed 3 comes out, because there's no way Assassin's Creed 3 isn't going to be my game of the year. It's not in my top 5. It's not as big a disappointment. Well, okay. Everyone says, oh, it's just terrible. It's not terrible. It's a really good game.
It's a disappointment.
It's just, it's a big letdown. That's the only one I could think of this year that really let me down.
Oh, but that hurts more. Like when your parents say, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. That is worse than say, just be angry, just be hateful, just don't be disappointed. That's the worst.
So anyway, Assassin's Creed 3 letdown. I'm not mad though.
Not even slightly.
I'm not mad. I ain't even mad. But anyway, top 5, not in really any order besides my game of the year, which I do know, but the other 4 games that I really liked this year: PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, loads and loads of fun, kind of like Smash Bros, but not really. Loads of cool characters, getting free DLC next month or sometime early next year. Looking forward to that. Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning. That's probably like my second favorite game of the year.
But you'll never get to play the sequel.
But yeah, I know, that's what really annoys me. I'm saying it's my second favorite game of the year, but I haven't really thought about it. I only know what my favorite one is. But that's up there, because I got like almost 50 hours out of that game, and I just loved the gameplay. It was fun, and the graphics were so nice and
phenomenal.
stuff.
In fairness, that's like as good as you're going to get out of a game.
Yeah, and that was even like, I beat the game on like my 40-something hour, and that was after like in the last zone, literally doing no side quests because I wanted to finish the game.
It's the same. Sure, I still haven't finished Skyrim, and I've dumped in maybe 60 hours. Granted, I started 2 characters, but still, like, I like games like that.
Yeah, it was really good. And then my other 2 games in my top 5 are Journey and Unfinished Swan. They were both just really cool. Journey particularly, I like more than the Unfinished Swan. It was just so good. And it's gotten a lot of nods this year in awards and stuff like that, and got the Grammy nod. Like the soundtrack for that, like, that's in the same category as John Williams, Howard Shore, who did the music for Lord of the Rings, Hans Zimmer, who's been doing the music for everything,
Batman, and especially this year.
Yeah, and that's what Hans Zimmer's up for. But like, and then Journey is in the same category as them. I mean, that's getting the nomination for that alone is really impressive.
Kind of a big achievement.
So that was really good. Unfinished Swan was also really good. Recommend people buy that. But the game of the year came out all the way back in February. It was the last game I bought from Game on Patrick Street, SSX. I talked about it in the newspaper, so you can pick up that for free.
That's all I heard about.
It's so...
For the first month it was out, and for the first like 2 months before, like, I can't believe it's almost here.
It's just so good. I got so much, like, there's over 160 drops in that game. The amount of content is ridiculous. And then, like, there was no head-to-head online racing, and then they patched it in, and you got it for free.
Yeah, that's very good.
And I haven't even played it, but that's still my game of the year, even without all the head-to-head racing and stuff. Just everything, the game feel, you could have your own custom music. You could import custom music into the game, and it remixed it as you were playing. It's a better DJ than a lot of DJs in the clubs on the weekends.
On the DJs in the clubs, the discotheques, is that right, you old man?
Going to the